And we're live, folks. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us to become an artist using PowerPoint. We're so happy that you're able to join us this morning or this afternoon, depending on where you're calling in from. My name is Coulter Lewis, and on the call today we have Emma, and she will be joining us, and she will be leading us through a wonderful PowerPoint presentation on how to become an artist. She's so cool and creative with what she can do in PowerPoint. I'm so privileged to be learning alongside her and along you as the participants. So thanks for joining us today. We are going to start at the top of the hour. So it's going to be 12 o'clock my time, but it might be 10 o'clock your time, or maybe even 9 o'clock your time if you're out west. And so we are going to start at the top of the hour, but before we even begin, we are going to do a little quiz, a little trivia, because I love trivia. And we are going to ask that you, as a participant, join our link. And to join the link, I've sent it in our chat. I've published a little thing in our chat here. And if you want to communicate with us today, you can click on that link. And that's where you pop your name in there. And then there's another spot to answer our questions. And then you can resubmit that form to allow you to just easily communicate with us and easily just give us some feedback on how you're feeling and how you're doing. And if you have any questions, you can also put those things in there as well. So click on that link. It'll send you to a form. And from that form, you can start answering our questions. And I think we probably can start with our first question. If you're ready on your end. If you're having troubles with that link, let us know as well. You can also have a question. There's a little form there for the questions. Teachers, feel free to ask our questions in there. But students, we really want you to be asking questions through that link. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. Emma, are you ready to go?
Let's do it, Coulter. I'm so excited to be a part of this. Welcome to Becoming an Artist. We're so excited to have you today. Question number 1. So just a reminder, use that form, keep the form up. We're going to use it during our presentation as well. But question number 1, what are the 3 primary colors? Answer through that form. We'd love to hear from you.
3 primary colors. Does that mean that it's my favorite color? What are the primary colors in my color?
Oh, not quite. The 3 primary colors are actually what creates all the other colors. So by mixing these colors, we can essentially create the whole rainbow.
Wow. Oh, so what are the 3 primary colors? You know what? I probably could name one. Can I guess at one, Emma?
Sure, Coulter, you can guess one.
Can I guess one? Is it teal? Is teal a primary color?
Not quite, but teal has, I would say, a distant relative in the primary colors.
Distant relative. So maybe teal kind of is light. It kind of thinks of maybe yellow. Is yellow a primary color?
Yellow is a primary color. That's one of the 3.
There we go. So that's got us started. And we'll just wait, and I can start seeing some answers come through. And again, I'm posting the link to the form. And so make sure that you can click on that link to answer the questions in our form. And I can see on my screen some answers starting to trickle in. And we have, let's see here. Wow.
So we know yellow is one. We'd love to hear from you if you know one or the other 2 or both or the other 2.
Well, it looks like we have a bunch of people chiming in, like Nicholas and Sebastian and Bella and Sam and Miley and Cole and Landon and Rylan and Maya and Eli. Awesome. And Ruby and Audrey. That's great. And it looks like I'm so shocked. I got a feeling that, wow, I think everyone actually got this right. I think everyone. So let's pop that in there, Emma. Let's see our answer.
Okay, let's go. Way to go, everyone. The 3 primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. So great job. And thank you for submitting all your answers. Let's jump over to question number 2. Now, this one is a hard one, but what emotion or emotions does the color blue convey? So when you see blue, what emotion do you think it could be? Let us know in the forum.
When I think of blue, I think of a few. I actually think of the movie, the cartoon Inside Out.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, that is a classic, isn't it? And I think of that, but I know there's other feelings or emotions that go with blue other than that one that I'm thinking of. Can we think outside the box maybe and maybe a different emotion than that common one that I think we might all be thinking about? What might blue make us feel? How do we feel when we look at blue? And you know what? This is your perception. So how does blue make you feel? Click on that link and let us know. You can also resubmit your questions. So you can always, or your answers. So we can see that Ruby has chimed in and Moana. Thank you so much. There's Nicholas again and Jessica and Madison. Awesome. And I can see that Miley and David A. Thank you so much. And Charlotte and Jordan. Awesome.
All right, well, thanks, everyone. Are we ready to go over what emotion blue conveys?
Yeah, I think so. I think we can.
All right, so it's not limited to these three, but typically calmness, serenity, and wisdom. Very interesting. All right, question number 3. And sorry, we have a little formatting thing. What is one complementary color to purple? And you can think of complementary as a contrast. So, Coulter, why don't you tell us about getting ready again?
So when I think of complementary color, I want to think about it. The easy way is I think about a complementary color is when I'm dressing myself. Now, I put on a purple shirt. What color of pants would maybe match? What color of outfit should I match with this? Now I have a tough time seeing colors sometimes, so I can look a little bit silly, but if I know that it's a complementary color, it might help my wardrobe out a little bit. So what color looks best with purple?
Yeah, well, think of it as a contrast. So complementary is so if you are looking at the color spectrum, what might be opposite to purple? So give that some thought. Let us know in the forum.
And I see some great answers coming in. And I know we're a little delayed, so there are some answers coming in a little bit later. Like I can see that Trevor has chimed in. Thank you, Trevor, and Owen, and Oisa. I hope I pronounced that right. And Brooklyn, thanks so much. And what do we have here? Oh, we got some great answers here from like Vivian and Kaylin. I hope I said that correct. Very unique spelling. Now, my name's Coulter, and I spell my name with a U. So I have grown up with teachers not pronouncing my name correctly, and I know how to deal with it. And I just want to let you know that I don't take it personally if you mispronounce my name, and if I mispronounce your name, please don't take it personally. I'm trying my best to be phonetic and to say your name correctly. So I think we're ready for our answer, Emma.
So the complementary colors is yellow, green, and orange. Green being my favorite. I personally love placing greens and purples together in my graphic designs. Let's move on. Question number 4. Going back to essentially those primary colors, but what do you get when you mix red and blue together? So when you start mixing those paints, what would you get when you mix red and blue together? Let us know.
What colors do you get when you mix red and blue? This is so much fun. When I remember being in art class and was able to mix my colors on my with all my paint. Now, most of my colors wouldn't turn out to what I wanted to be. They ended up being a little bit darker and than I probably wanted. But what colors do you get when you mix red and blue? Let us know in the chat. And I can see some answers coming in. Awesome. Oh, wow. People are so quick on the ball here. Braden, thank you very much. You were the first person in by 1 second. Next was Jonas and Isabella and Dream. Awesome. Thank you. And Katie or Kate. Chloe, thank you very much. Awesome. I think we're probably ready for our answer. Ooh, Moana, great answer too.
And it's my favorite color, purple. When you mix red and blue, you get purple. And I think we have a time for a question or two more. Great job, everyone, on the trivia. Question 5, and this is a great segue today. Today we are making geometric art, which is combining shapes. And the main one we're using is a triangle. So we are switching gears into math a little bit. What are the 3 kinds of triangles? And I'm sure your teachers are smiling, but students, you can do this. 3 kinds of triangles.
3 kinds of triangles. I know confidently I can name 2 of them. And it's been a while since I've had to use some triangles, but I can confidently name 2.
Like a tall one and a short one, Coulter?
Oh, the short one, yeah.
The wide. A wide one, a tall one, a short one.
Mackenzie's chimed in. Awesome, Mackenzie. And that's okay if you don't know. And Ellie, great guess. That's great. And from Mr. Beast's class, 2 out of the 3.
So it's your mini math lesson for today.
Yeah.
The 3 kinds of triangles.
Good guess, Ethan. Nice try. You gave me a chuckle there, Ethan. And our first, we're pretty close. A lot of people are with me. They can get the first 2. It's that third one that is stumping me.
Ooh.
And it looks like Nicholas was the first person to chime in with all 3 correct.
Way to go, Nicholas.
And Alexis is there as well. Great job, Alexis. And Kyla, too. Nails that one. Great. And Brianna. Wow, we got some mathematicians here, and they know their geometry. Emma, are we ready to show the answer?
We are ready. So if we are naming triangles because of their sides, we have an equilateral, which is 3 equal sides and 3 equal angles. We have an isosceles, 2 equal sides and equal angles. And scaling, it has no equal sides and no equal angles. However, you can also describe triangles by their angles, acute, obtuse, or right. And the main triangle today, the one that's going to take center stage, is our isosceles triangle. It's going to be a big component of our geometric art today. And I think we have time, Coulter. Should we just finish off with one more?
Yeah, I think we have 1 more minute. We can definitely answer our final question. And it is.
So what shape do you get if you combine 2 of these isosceles triangles? What would you get? Let us know your answers, and then we're about to kickstart our geometric art.
This is a tough one. What shape would you get if you combine these 2 triangles? Because I'm looking at that triangle you have right there, and if I pop the other one upside down, what shape am I going to get?
Coulter, I'll give you a hint. It's not a circle.
Not okay.
It is not a circle. All right, how are our guesses coming through?
It looks like we've got some great answers here. Owen, great guess. Chris, good guess. Jules D, awesome. What else do we have? Wow, we've got some proper terms too from Cody. And Kayla again, and Caden, great guesses, and Madison and Addison as well. Wow, awesome. It looks like I think we're ready to show the answer here.
All right, and the final answer of our trivia is a parallelogram. If you combine those, you would have to flip the other one, and we're going to do some flipping of our triangles today in our graphic design. So buckle up, everyone. We're about to get started.
Awesome.
So it is the top of the hour. Coulter, are you ready for this?
I think so. I'm ready to start creating and building and being artsy in my PowerPoint program.
Oh, so excited. So today, next hour, we are going to do some geometric art. It is inspired by Elyse Dodge. She grew up in Vancouver, British Columbia. It is my home province, so I was happy to select and honor this artist. And I am Emma. your team today. We are from the Cobblestone Collective, formerly known as EdTech Team Canada. My name is Emma. I'm a middle school teacher from Victoria, British Columbia. A little shout out to Saanich School District if you're watching. I work at a school called Royal Oak. Coulter, do you want to say hi?
Yes, I'd love to. My name is Coulter, and I'm calling in here from Toronto, Ontario. I'm originally from Niagara Falls, Ontario. I grew up there and lived about 20 years there. So it's such a cool place to be from. And I know this morning we had some Niagara or Southern Ontario people on the call. So if you're still calling in from Ontario, shout out there to the Niagara Public District School Board. But we are so happy to be here. You are in luck. You have Emma, who is very humble, but she is so cool and so amazing on PowerPoint. You have chosen the right session to be in because Emma is so creative and she's going to give you lots of really valuable tips on how to create art in PowerPoint. And now that you got to know a little bit about us, we would like to know just a little bit about you. So in that form that we've given you, are you able to resubmit another answer and let us know what grade you're in? We want to know our audience. You got to know a little bit about us, but we want to know your grade. Let us know what grade you're in. And I can see some answers coming in, and it looks like we have some 4th graders and some 7th graders and some 8th graders. Awesome. It looks like we've got a nice little mix. Oh, we got some 6th graders as well. It looks like we're going from 4 to 6, 4 to 8.
That is wonderful, and we are so excited. We're going to tell you a little bit about the artist that inspires today's session, but we're thinking outside the box with PowerPoint. We know PowerPoint can create presentations, but we're going to take it to a whole new creative level today. Let's carry on. Coulter, are you good?
Yeah, I think we are ready to go. I think we can, and now we're going to slow it down a little bit to make sure that you're caught up and that you're going to where we need to go. So Emma, you can start us off, and yeah, I think we're ready to rock.
Oh, awesome. All right. We hope you enjoy the next hour with us. Let's get creative. Let's have some fun, and let's explore the brilliance of geometric art with PowerPoint. So today's session is inspired by Elyse Dodge. As I said, she grew up in British Columbia, and she takes beautiful landscapes from across her country and redesigns them with polygons, and polygons are just a multi-sided object. This is the one that is inspired, the one we are going to do today. You can see the mountain range in the background, and of course the tree line at the horizon, but she takes majestic landscapes, and then she combines all these geometric shapes to create the whole. So this painting itself is inspiring our session today. These are just a few more of her paintings. You can see that she can take any image and make it geometric with the vibrant colors, just beautiful complementary colors. They look absolutely gorgeous. And so the goal today is to create your very own geometric landscape painting. We are, of course, so excited to get going. First things first, I'm going to exit out of my screen here. I'm going to show you a couple ways to navigate to PowerPoint. The easiest way, well, I shouldn't say the easiest way, but there's a few different ways. The first way is in a new tab. Simply go to office.com. So that was www.office.com.
And Emma,
you can see. Oh, sorry.
I posted the link in the chat. Sorry to interrupt you. So
no, that's right.
You can click on the link in our chat as well if that's going to be easier. But Emma, you can continue.
And then all the applications of Microsoft are loaded on your left here. So PowerPoint is the red looking one with a P for PowerPoint. You would simply click on that to launch PowerPoint. You will also notice teachers connected through your email, not like you want to put your email on your screen, but Microsoft also has a 3x3 grid, and that can launch the different applications of PowerPoint as well. Today, I will be using the web-based version. If you have the desktop-based version, that is great. You will just have a few more features than us, but all the tools I'll be using today are on both the web-based and the desktop version. So go ahead, office.com. you are going to open up a new presentation. Again, please do not select a theme, just a blank presentation. And I will know that you're ready. I'm not able to see your screen, but when your screen looks like mine, you have a blank PowerPoint presentation open. That will let your teacher know you're ready to go, or if you're joining us virtually at home, this will be the starting point of our landscape. We just want to remind you that this session is recorded, so you can check back to it. As well as teachers, we have provided you the resource with the step-by-step instructions in there. But from this point forward, I will be demoing live. So we're going to pause right here. We'll just do a little login check. Make sure you are logged in with your school account, and we will be starting with the background color shortly.
Yeah, that's a great point, Emma. This is where you could pause our video if you need to, and make sure that you can log into your office.com. And make sure that you can get to your home screen, your Office or your O365 portal page where you can access your PowerPoint. So that's a great point, though. You can definitely pause us and then press play again once you're set up and ready to go and run with us that way. But if you are able to go to office.com, that's great. Sign on in and get going. Now, it's great to know that you can do some parallels too. If you're having a tough time logging into your account, maybe you forgot your password. Feel free that you can always do this with pencil and paper and get some color pencils out and you can use it that way. You can also go to other programs like Keynote or Slides as well and use this in a similar fashion as well.
Yeah, many graphic design tools are universal. And with PowerPoint, we'll just know, you know that you are logged in correctly. Like for me in the top right-hand corner, you can see my name. You can see Emma there. You may not have a little logo, that's my Bitmoji up there, but most schools, I think you usually see your initials when you are logged in. So that's just a great way of checking that you are logged in, because PowerPoint will save all your work automatically, which is amazing. All right, so we'll just do another just real quick pause, making sure that you are open. Remember, you are not selecting a theme. You have gone to office.com and we are going to kickstart our graphic design. While you're doing that, I'm going to show you your end game today. We are actually going to create, and I'm just going to put this in present mode here. Oops, wrong location. Sorry about that. But I'll just do it from here. The painting you are creating today will look similar to this. That is your goal today. So inspired by Elyse Dodge, we're going to combine some triangles to form the mountain range and then use some other features of PowerPoint to add additional features. So Coulter, are we ready?
I think so, Emma. Let's get rolling.
All right, so the first step, looking at your PowerPoint, you'll notice it has this built-in text box, but we want to start with a clean slate. To do that, you'll notice you have two cursors always in PowerPoint. One that looks like this, that's for typing, and one that has the 4 white arrows. So when you have the white arrows, you can highlight an object and simply hit backspace or delete on your keyboard. Or what I like to do is under my layout setting here, just simply go down and select the blank layout and change the layout there. So we're going to start with a fresh digital canvas. Make sure that there is no text box. 2 ways of doing, just simply highlight them and hit delete on your keyboard, or under the layout, you will go down and select a blank one under here, because in PowerPoint, you can select your layouts. So now that we have our fresh canvas, we are going to navigate over. In PowerPoint, there's all these different tabs at the top, and under the tabs is a unique set of features. So our home base can give us some fonts and some colors and our layouts. Under our insert is anything we're adding to the slide, like pictures or icons or text boxes. We're going to go to the 5th one over, which is called design. And under design, we will find the background setting, and you're going to go ahead and choose a background color. This will essentially be the sky of your background, but this is your painting. A sky does not have to be blue. It can be any color that you would like. So go ahead and select a color. You have lots of great colors built into your PowerPoint. So I am going to go ahead and select the blue-gray, but you can make yours any color that you would like. So that's the design. It's the fifth one over, and then background, arrow down to the solid fill, and go ahead and choose a background color for your painting. And we'll be building your geometric landscape on top of this color. So go ahead, background color.
Emma, can we just clarify, if I don't have that same color as you, can I choose any color I'd like?
Absolutely, Coulter. And I personally, I love seeing variation in student work. I want you to make it your own. This isn't being marked, so be creative, have some fun, explore colors. You might even decide halfway through your painting that you want to change your background color, and that is totally fine.
Awesome, thanks for clarifying. And I think it's important to know that throughout our workshop today, this is your artwork. So if you want to choose a different color, something a little bit unique, this is your choice. So you can choose what color schemes you want to use this afternoon or this morning.
Absolutely. So there is no pressure to do any of the colors that I am doing. Make it your own, have some fun with it. It's just about learning and exploring and just thinking of PowerPoint in a different way of just presentations. The art that you can create with it is endless. Now that you have your background color, the next step, we're going to create that horizon line. We're going to do that by going to the insert menu. So that one's the third one over. We're going to be using this insert menu quite a few times today. So third one over, and we're going to go where it says shapes. This is geometric art, so it's only fitting that we have the shapes. And we're going to start with the rectangle. With PowerPoint, if you hover over, it will actually tell you the name of all the different shapes, but it was insert, shapes, rectangle. So I'm going to select this first one here. When you select any shape in PowerPoint, it's automatically going to drop it down in the middle for you. From there, you can then alter the shape. Remember, we have two cursors. We have the text cursor and the 4 arrow cursor. It has to be on the 4 arrows in order to move it. And I want to drag it down into the corner. And a little math connection here. We want to make the rectangle. I'm dragging it by the corner. I want to make it about a quarter or a third. It doesn't have to be precise because it is your painting. So we're going to just put a rectangle on the bottom half. So I'm going to do that one more time. Insert menu. Under the shapes, we selected the rectangle tool. Remember, to move items in PowerPoint, you need the 4, I call it the compass cursor, but there could be a better name for it. I drag it to the corner, and see those white dots? They allow you to change the proportions of an object. I personally like to drag from the corners, so I'm going to drag this rectangle out approximately a third or a quarter, whatever you think is going to look best for your horizon line in your painting. And I'm going to go ahead and select a fill color. So I am going to go, I think I'm going to go 1 shade darker than I did previously, but you could do complementary colors. Like you could do those purples and greens. Like you could choose some really vibrant contrasting colors. You'll notice when you click outside, you don't have that fill color anymore. If you're wanting to adjust the color of your rectangle, highlight it, click on it again to select it, and click under shape, and you will get that paint bucket back. You also have the option to adjust the shape outline. For all my shapes today, I'm going to go down and select no outline. But outline is like your border color. So you can choose whether you want to have your border colors or not have your border colors. But I'm going to choose no outlines for my shapes today. And you can see now I have my background color and that first rectangle color for my painting.
That That's awesome, Emma. Are you able to show us that again? Because I'm sort of trying to do this a little bit on my end as well. So I'm sort of listening to you and sort of doing it on my own. And I think I might have missed 1 or 2 steps there. So
yeah, absolutely, Coulter. I'm going to just hit delete on that one. It was under the insert menu, shapes. We went down to rectangle. PowerPoint's going to drop it in the middle. I'm going to drag it to the corner. I'm going to stretch it out where it's approximately a quarter. You'll notice on PowerPoint, you'll see those like red dotted lines come up. Those are alignment tools, and those actually allow you to line up things perfectly with the edges or any other shape. So I'm going to go ahead and pick a color, and I am and remember, if your color disappears, make sure you select your object again and go to shape. And I, again, am going to go no outline. So that is going to become my horizon line for my painting. And I think from there, we're ready to get going. This is geometric art. I did tell you we are going to be starting with the isosceles triangle. So we will navigate back to that same menu. Under our insert menu, where we previously found our rectangle, we are going to go in and get our isosceles triangle. You'll notice that there is lots of basic shapes. This is geometric art. If you want to get creative and start adding other shapes, by all means, have some fun with it. But for my demonstration today, I am going to be using the isosceles triangle. Just like our rectangle, if we click on it, it is going to drop approximately into the middle of our screen. Now, just like we did before, we can adjust the fill color. I'm going to go with yellow. I personally love the way yellow looks on blue, and I am going to take off that outline color. And this is where we're going to start constructing our triangles to form our mountain range. And remember, with your shape, you can always adjust your shape. Remember when we talked about different types of triangles, we have tall ones and short ones, right, Coulter? Just kidding. But you can use those white tools to adjust your triangle. So go ahead right now and place your first triangle on your painting.
So just wanted to clarify, Emma, I've gone to insert and then I go into shapes and I choose a triangle. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And there are a couple triangles in there. I am using the one called the isosceles triangle. And when I click on it, it will drop. It actually looks like an equilateral triangle when you put it in there, but it will drop right in your PowerPoint. And then you are able to color it and manipulate the size of it.
And you colored it just like coloring that rectangle. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And if you don't see that fill bucket, make sure that your shape is selected and you will find it under shape. So you can see your shape fill here. I call it your paint bucket, but your shape, your painting, and then next door to it is your shape outline. If you do want a black, or it doesn't have to be black, but if you want to put a border color, depending on the colors you chose with the background, like you could do white borders if you want on your geometric shapes, completely up to you. It is your painting. All right, so at this point you should have a background color, a rectangle for the horizon, and your first triangle. Coulter, do we have any questions on that end, or do you think we're good to keep going?
I think people are building away and making sure that they're getting their shapes inserted and making sure that they're using that bucket to fill the colors. But I think what's going to be shown next is super important. So I think wherever you are, you should stop what you're doing, because this tool or trick that you showed me recently has saved so much time for me. And I absolutely love it.
Yeah, so this is where the magic of your kind of mountain range is going to happen. Inserting triangle after triangle is great and it works, but we all know that can be a little time consuming. We also know that we could Control C to copy and Control V to paste, and that's great. And those tools work just fine. But being a middle school teacher, I know that my students love keyboard shortcuts all the time. If there's a shorter way to do something, they want to know about it. So on your keyboard, I'm on a ThinkPad or a Chromebook. It's going to be a Control D. And watch that. I hit Control D and I am able to duplicate my triangles. And then I'm just dragging them so you can see them. Control D allows you to duplicate them. If you're on a Mac, it is Command D. So Control D allows you to duplicate your triangles. It saves you from having to go to that insert menu every single time. Give it a try. Control D on your keyboard, duplicate your triangles.
Emma, that is such a handy tool. I save so much time because before I used to always press copy and then paste and then copy and then paste and it's just so much easier just to press that Control D or Command D button to duplicate my items. Does it work on other items as well for the future, or is it just?
Yeah, it works on all different shapes. It also works in different applications. So if you are not working in PowerPoint today and you're working in a different graphic design program, Control D does work in most of them. It is magic. You could even do it on a text box, by the way. Lots of different things you can do it. And in graphic design, we use it all the time. Control D will duplicate.
Awesome.
Now, when you have a few triangles, or at least two, now is to start thinking about your colors, because I don't want all my colors to be the same. So I'm going to go back up and click to shape to get my paint bucket. And I'm going to make these a few different colors. So maybe I make one a darker blue. Maybe I make one a mint green color. If you want to take this to the next level, and this is optional, you can see at the bottom there is also more fill colors, because you'll notice in here you don't see a lot of pinks and purples. You can go down to more fill colors. All you have to do is drag this bar and you can click through. If I wanted a pink or a purple, you could simply select one and then I have a pink one in there. And maybe I'll go one more color under shape. So I have a blue, a green, a pink. I am going to do, I always like a really dark color. I like to have some lights and some darks, because if we go back to Elyse's inspiration here at the beginning, you can see that she uses a wide range of colors and essentially the whole color rainbow. So I always like to have some dark colors and some light colors. So go ahead and color some of your rectangles. As you're doing that, I'm going to show you a really cool tool, and I'm actually going to zoom into this. If you wanted to zoom, and I zoom in so I make sure my triangles or my shapes fit really nicely together. I don't like to have, when I'm doing geometric art, I don't like to have the spaces in between them. So if I look in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm currently at 56%. I'm going to zoom in, and it doesn't matter where you zoom in. I just want to go in closer so that you can see. So if I move my bar over here, here is my original rectangle. I have my yellow one. Here are the other ones I created. When I have a rectangle selected, you'll notice at the top there is a almost a circular arrow. This is magical because we want to be able to place our triangles, right? So maybe I put those together, but in order to make our triangles fit, we need to move one of them. Well, if I have this one selected and I use that click on the arrow, I am able to rotate that triangle. And it actually tells you how many degrees you're rotating it. If I wanted that triangle completely upside down, it would be a 180-degree rotation. From there, I can then move it to fit perfectly with my other triangles. And you can see those natural alignment tools of PowerPoint. Those red dotted means I've essentially lined up all those triangles perfectly. And maybe I'm going to rotate this one as well. Rotate it. And I'm going to do 180 degrees, but depending on your shape, it may not be a 180-degree rotation. Maybe it'll be a 90-degree rotation. You can set it up however you'd like, and I'm going to fit that one in there. So if I zoom out, or I go back to where I was, you can see that I now have 5 triangles fit nicely together. Coulter, any questions? We're in a few minutes, we're going to give you some time to explore and create, and I'll be creating as you are so that you can refer back to it. But Coulter, how are we doing over there?
Yeah, I don't think we have any questions that we need to call out. I think it's just important to remind students that this is your artwork. So again, you can be as creative and as exploratory as you'd like. We're here to guide you and to show you how we would do it, but it's up to you to come up with your finished product. So have some fun with it. But I think it's probably time that we go radio silent and allow you to build your mountains.
Let's do it. So we are going to give you kind of 10 minutes, give or take a couple, to create. I'm going to zoom in to about 100%. I will be creating as you create. Have some fun, explore those colors, change the proportions of your triangles. I'll be working while you are, and I'll talk to you soon.
This is your 1 minute warning. This is a 1 minute warning. We're going to bring everybody back and we're going to show you the next steps in about a minute. Emma, I've muted you. We're still working away. We'll give them that 1 minute and then we'll jump in. Emma, it looks like you're going to have to unmute yourself. Oh, and there's our timer.
And we are back in action. We hope all of you had a lot of fun exploring colors, exploring shapes, practicing that Control D duplicate tool. You can see that I've put together 4 small mountains to create my little mountain range. If I had more time, I would probably create them with additional triangles and maybe manipulate the shapes a little bit more. But given the time, it's definitely a pretty great start for geometric art. Now, this next step is one of my favorite, and this is where that painting really comes to life. Now, let's just take a little sneak peek. This was the original. So we have the mountain ranges. You can see that there is some additional shapes, and this is where you can really make it your own. If I scroll down, this was my finishing touch in your example. You can see that I have a lot of different things like clouds and trees, and these are actually built right into PowerPoint. So let's go back and let's create. Now we're back under the insert menu, and you could use shapes to add additional things, but PowerPoint has this amazing feature built in, which I love, and it is located under pictures. So insert, pictures, stock images, they have illustrations built in, and illustrations are vectors, meaning they don't have a white background. They have hundreds of them. You will also notice they have them by category. So I can actually click on nature, and there's a ton of amazing things I could add on my drawing. You can also adjust the colors. So let me show you where those are located again. Insert, pictures, stock images, and stock images means they're built right into PowerPoint. And one of the things I love about them is I don't have to navigate to a different page to get images. They're also Creative License Commons. Anyone can use them. You don't have to worry about creative licensing. They are there in PowerPoint for you to use. So under stock images and illustrations. So I'm going to go ahead and add some finishing details. You could add a fox. You could add some other wildlife. I'm going to start with a tree. If you didn't see this come up automatically, you can also search tree directly in the search engine. So I'm going to select a tree and hit insert, and PowerPoint is going to drop this directly in there. Now, if you looked at Elyse's original painting, she had kind of her tree line at the horizon. And a little kind of graphic design tip when you're doing a tree line is to adjust the shades a little bit. So I am maybe going to choose a gray for my first tree. I'm going to use that Control D duplicate. I'm going to adjust the size of my next tree because not all trees are the same size, but maybe I do a slightly different gray. And then maybe I duplicate my original tree. And you can see already that that's created a really nice graphic and a really great start of the tree line. And you don't have to stick with grays. You can certainly make them a lot more vibrant. Culture, let me guess. Do you want me to show you where that is again?
Yeah, show us again.
All right, let's do that. So under the insert menu, pictures, stock images, and you're going to go to illustrations. Oops, I accidentally right click. So illustrations. There is so many, like I cannot tell you enough, like PowerPoint. PowerPoint has many incredible features. This is one of my favorites. All you have to do is look for the nature category. These categories show up in different orders every time. So it's not you not being able to find it. The orders get shuffled. So just so that you see different ones. And I selected this tree. And I will maybe put this one that's going to pop up on the other side. And a graphic design trick, if you're doing trees or similar like objects, is to duplicate them with that Control-D tool, but then adjust the coloring of it. And the coloring, when we did the shapes, it showed up under shape, but this is a graphic. So if I have my graphic selected and I hit graphics, I can adjust the color. So I'm going to do a more contrasting gray. And you can see when there's a contrast in your trees, it makes for a really nice effect. And you could certainly choose more than just 2 colors for your contrast. You can make your trees any color you want. And I'm sure we have some students back there that are like coding the Bob Ross. Is anyone doing the happy little trees? Happy little trees? I'm sure we have some Bob Ross fans out there. So go ahead and put some trees in your masterpiece. And we're going to give you, Coulter and I are going to give you about 5 more minutes to create. But before we, sorry, I'm just trying to adjust this. I'm on a ThinkPad. I accidentally right click a lot. I want to just show you that you're not limited to just trees. You can add anything you want. So I'm going to go back there again, insert, pictures, stock images. And something I like to add is just, under illustrations, I'm going to search for shape. I like to add contours and slightly different shadings to bring my painting to life. So you could add aspects to your water, aspects to the sky. I'm going to look for this shape. So you can see it looks like kind of part of a cloud. I'm going to insert that one. So that was under shape. And now I actually have a cloud that I can add. I can duplicate that cloud, move them throughout my painting. I can put my clouds in front of my mountains, but a little trick, right click, send to back. I can now tuck that behind my mountain because graphic design is created in layers. So have some fun inserting. Coulter, what do you think? 5 more minutes to create and add some shapes?
I think so, but I think I'd like to see how you sent that to the back one more time.
Yes, let's do that. So I have just duplicated this cloud, right click. Remember on a Chromebook, I think you have to hit down, it's Control Alt, it's the key right next to the space bar anyway. And right click, send to back, and it will send it to the very back. Not send backward because that just puts it behind the one you just created, but send to back. And that will allow you to layer aspects in your design and have tons of fun. There's lots of different things that you can use. If you get stuck for ideas, just take a watch at what I'm doing on your screen and have some like the possibilities with those illustrations are endless. We're going to check back in together in 5 minutes.
All right, I've got the timer on. We'll see everybody in 5 minutes. Let us know if you have any questions. You can use that link and we can respond to your questions if you're having any trouble. But it's your time to create and have some fun. So we'll go radio silent for another 5 minutes. Emma, I'm not going to mute you this time.
Okay. Thanks, Coulter.
So that's about your 5-minute time. I didn't give you the 1-minute warning, but maybe we'll give you another 30 seconds.
And just as you're finishing up your kind of creative time there, you'll see under illustrations that there is just so much you can add. So it's under pictures, stock images, illustrations, and remember, you can adjust the color of any of them out there. And if you still have that Google form handy, you can tell us what is one object instead of what we can add, but let us know an object that you added to your landscape. We'd love to hear from you. What is something that you added to yours?
Yeah, use that form again. Resubmit an answer. Let us know. We want to, because we can't see your work, we want to know what you did. So what was one thing that you can add or that you did add, or maybe after the call, you want to go back and add something else in? Emma, I really liked how you added the ripples in the water and you made that effect. Could you show us how you did that?
Yeah, absolutely. So that was just under the shape, or not under shape, sorry. Stock images, illustrations, and sometimes I like to just be creative with the built-in shapes. So I just searched shape and I found something that almost looks like a brush stroke, and there's a few of them in here. This was the one that I chose, and I just searched shape. And I inserted that, and you can just see that I duplicated it quite a few times. And it actually looks nice adding in. You can see I'm just duplicating it, but it kind of gives you that water-like effect. I want to show you, because we do have a couple minutes, so you can as well keep adding those illustrations. But you can always go back to the shapes built into PowerPoint, because PowerPoint actually has a sunshine and a moon and clouds built right into it as well. So I'm going to add a little sunshine kind of in that top left-hand corner to pretty much finish off my design. I'm going to take off the outline color, but certainly a lot of flexibility and options right into PowerPoint. I'm going to make it that vibrant yellow color. So I've just gone back to the shape tools in PowerPoint, and you can add some little features as well.
Awesome. And we had some answers come through. It looks like individuals are wanting to add maybe some animals next time. We have Zan that wants to add a bunny. We have a fox. We have a little silhouette.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. So that's a great idea. Maybe you could add a little boat in there too. But again, this is your work. This is your art. So you get to be as creative as you'd like, which is awesome.
And something I do too with these paintings. So this one is pretty close to being done. You can actually see I snuck in a little fox there. I didn't do that in an earlier session, but I snuck in a little animal. You can change the color, but really quickly, I'll just show you. If I went back to that design and I went to that background color, really quickly with colors, you can change the nature of your painting. So just by changing that background color, I've made it more look like a night landscape. So you do have a lot of options. So I'm going to Control Z to undo that. But if you're done or near done, explore the different colors, because it is amazing how one color can change the look or the motion or the message in a painting.
Wow, that was pretty cool. Can you show me? I know we did that at the very beginning. Can you show how you did that again? Because that was pretty wild, because it did convey a different emotion for me when I saw your painting.
Yeah, and there's a lot of power in colors and in digital literacy. So I went back under design. I went to my background color, and I just changed the background color. And I'm actually going to do a slightly different color this time. I'm going to do a dark blue gray. And when I click on it, look at that, I have actually switched. So now my geometric painting would give the impression that it's at night instead of the daytime. So have fun exploring different colors. We hope that you may not be done, because an hour is a short amount of time to do a geometric landscape. But we hope that you had lots of learning and lots of takeaways, and that you'll continue to add to your painting or explore other geometric art.
It's awesome, Emma. So as we're sort of wrapping this up and we're coming to an end of our lesson today, we just want to make sure that you get a shout out for being awesome students. So congratulations for your landscape and completing your painting. And that's a big accomplishment because it's tough. I know when I'm learning online, it can be difficult listening to a presenter and following the instructions and doing it on my computer as well. So way to persevere and be creative with your work. And I'm sure your teachers are going to love your final outcome. So make sure that you can share that with your teachers. And I think, Emma, you were going to show how you could save it as a picture.
Yeah, absolutely. So one thing that I do a lot when I do graphic designs is under the File menu. So I'm back in my PowerPoint, File, Download As, and you can actually, this bottom one here, it says Download as Images, and that will allow you to download it as a JPEG. And then a JPEG can be used in any other application of Microsoft. So if you're doing, say, creative writing, you could depict your own picture from your story and put it in there. So I often download as images, and of course you can use them in any other application of Microsoft. So a really cool feature that again was under the File menu, Download as a JPEG. It locks it all into place and you now have something in a picture format.
That's awesome. And we have one more thing we want to do just before you take off and we let you go. We want to know, we just want a little bit of feedback from you. So we want to know, what did you like, or what can you take away from this session? What are you going to go and share with your colleague or your friends, your parents or your family members, maybe a sibling that you have? What would you share with them today? What did you like best about today's session? So this goes back to clicking on that link that we gave you at the beginning to answer our trivia. If you click on that, I'm going to post it in our announcements here as well. Again, just so it's at the top for you. But if you clicked on that link, let us know what you liked best. And we can do one final round of shout outs for individuals that are able to click on that link and participate. Quick little shout out to Miss Baird's class. I hope I pronounced that correct. Thank you so much for joining us. They had to run because it was their lunchtime. But they're going to pause the video and they're going to come back and finish up. So hopefully that you'll get this message when you come back from your recess and your lunch. But thank you again for everybody for participating today and for joining in. And a big shout out to your teachers for reaching us and connecting us with other students. There was over or around about 25 classes, which makes it around 300 students on the call this afternoon, which is pretty wild that we were participating with so many people from around the country and that we're able to join. So that's great. And thank you again for participating. One final send off is that you need to now look at your teacher or message your teacher and find out what your next steps are.